In the ancient lands of Latium, where gods walked among mortals, a story of destiny, rivalry, and blood was etched into the very soil. It is a tale of two brothers, born from a forbidden union of a god and a priestess, whose intertwined fates would give rise to an empire that would shape the world. This is the story of Romulus and Remus, the twin founders of Rome, a city conceived in love but born from conflict. Their legacy begins not with a throne, but with a betrayal. In the kingdom of Alba Longa, the rightful king, Numitor, was overthrown by his ambitious brother, Amulius. To secure his stolen crown, Amulius forced Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a Vestal virgin, a priestess sworn to chastity, ensuring that Numitor's bloodline would end with her. But the gods had other plans. The war god Mars, captivated by Rhea's beauty and spirit, visited her in the sacred temple. From this divine union, twin boys were born, Romulus and Remus. Amulius, enraged and terrified by the birth of potential rivals, ordered the infants to be drowned in the Tiber River. He believed that the river's currents would silence their claim to his throne forever. A servant, however, took pity on the babes. Instead of casting them into the raging waters, he placed them in a reed basket and set it adrift, entrusting their fate to the river god Tiberinus. The god guided the basket safely to the shore at the base of a hill that would one day be called Palatine. There, a most unnatural guardian awaited them. A she-wolf, drawn by their cries, discovered the infants. Instead of harming them, she was moved by a divine instinct and gently nursed the twins, saving them from starvation. Soon after, a shepherd named Faustulus found the miraculous scene. Seeing the wolf with the two human children, he knew they were favored by the gods. He took the boys home to his wife, Acca Larentia, and together they raised Romulus and Remus as their own sons, keeping their divine parentage and royal lineage a secret. The twins grew up in the rugged hills, their days filled with the simple, hard life of shepherds. Yet they were anything but ordinary. They were natural leaders, stronger, braver, and more charismatic than any of their peers. Romulus was thoughtful and authoritative, a born strategist, while Remus was impulsive, wild, and quick to action. Together, they commanded the respect of the local shepherds, leading them in fights against rival herders and hunting dangerous beasts. Their bond was forged in the wilderness, two halves of a single, powerful whole. But their true destiny could not be hidden in the countryside forever. During a dispute with shepherds loyal to King Amulius, Remus was captured and taken to Alba Longa to face the king's justice. Faustulus, seeing the prophecy unfolding, knew the time had come to reveal the truth to Romulus. He told him of the she-wolf, the basket, and their true grandfather, Numitor, who still lived under Amulius's watch. A fire was lit in Romulus. He rallied a force of shepherds and marched on Alba Longa, determined to free his brother and restore his grandfather to the throne. At the same time, inside the palace, Numitor recognized his grandson in Remus, seeing the echoes of his daughter Rhea in the young man's eyes. As Romulus and his men stormed the city, the truth of the twins' identity spread like wildfire, inspiring the people of Alba Longa to rise up against the usurper. In the ensuing chaos, Amulius was cornered and killed, his reign of tyranny brought to an end by the very heirs he had tried to destroy. Numitor was reinstated as king, and he joyfully embraced the grandsons he never knew he had. He offered them a place by his side in Alba Longa, but the twins, having tasted leadership and destiny, yearned for something of their own. They decided to return to the place where they had been saved, the 7 hills by the Tiber River, to found a city of their own. It was here on the threshold of creating a new world, that the brothers' deep bond began to fracture. They could not agree on which hill to build their city. Romulus favored the Palatine Hill, where the she-wolf had found them, seeing it as a sign of strength and divine protection. Remus chose the Aventine Hill, valuing its strategic position and defensive advantages. To settle the dispute, they agreed to seek a sign from the gods through augury, the practice of interpreting the flight of birds. Remus was the first to see a sign. 6 vultures flew over his chosen hill. He declared victory, but moments later, a flock of 12 vultures appeared over the Palatine Hill for Romulus. The meaning was ambiguous. Did the first sign hold precedence, or did the greater number signify divine favor? The argument escalated, their ambition clouding their love. Romulus, claiming victory, began to dig a trench and build a low wall to mark the sacred boundary of his future city on the Palatine. Remus, feeling cheated and enraged by his brother's arrogance, approached the fledgling wall. In a fit of mockery and defiance, he scornfully leapt over it, a grave insult that trivialized the city's sanctity and his brother's authority. "Is this how you'll protect your city?" he sneered. In that moment, something snapped in Romulus. Fueled by righteous fury and the belief that his brother had committed an unforgivable sacrilege, he struck Remus down. As his twin lay dying at his feet, the triumphant joy of founding a city turned to the ashes of grief and regret. Remus's blood consecrated the soil, a dark omen for the city's future. Romulus, now alone, buried his brother with full honors, his heart heavy with the price of his ambition. He named the city Rome in his own honor, but the shadow of his brother would forever linger. Thus, the city of Rome was born. Founded on April 21st, 753 BC, its first stones laid in an act of fratricide. Romulus became its first king, a ruler haunted by the ghost of the brother he loved and killed, a symbol of the eternal truth that great power often demands the greatest sacrifice.